Hi everyone, and welcome to another week with Mirree's Dreamtime Messages. For anyone that's new to my channel, my name is Mirree. I am the artist behind all the paintings that you see on social media. And although it may be hard to believe, and these are my paintbrushes, my favorite paintbrushes. Some of them are Robert A. World Reef is some of the brands, and the some of those which are actually very expensive, and the Winsor and Newton Gallia brushes. So these are my favorite brushes that I use in most of my paintings, and so in case anybody was wanting to know about that. So I hope everyone's having a wonderful week. As I said, I was a bit sick last week, and so I apologize because I thought that it was a full moon. It was actually a new moon. So yeah, you can tell I was sick last week, but I'm getting better, and but I'm still very tired. But life goes on, and so and now I'm getting everything set up a lot better to do with the videos, and so I hope everyone's been enjoying the videos so far. And if you've been following along on the social medias, then there's been some really great paintings and messages from the paintings that I've been sharing this week. And so some of the favorite ones that I've recently shared has been the red rump parrots, and so this one's a great one. It's got a lot of colors in this one in the background, and a lot of paint layers and lines and colors and dot work. So there's not a lot of dot work in this one. Some of my paintings have a lot of dot works and some that don't, because I have customers that don't like too many dots and other ones that like a lot of dots, and so I try to cater to everybody. But I wanted to share this one because it has such a great story, and it may relate to some of you at the moment, as my paintings are pretty known from my stories, but also the bright colors that I like to use and layers on of paint that I like building up, because I used to be an oil painter, which I loved painting because there was so much time, and the process of it was really therapeutical for me. But as time went by, my paintings became in demand, and then I had to change to acrylic paintings because I didn't have time to do the processes that I like to do with the oil paintings. And so I'm actually a mainly based acrylic painter. With the other mediums I like to use is actually acrylic inks, and so and metallic paints I absolutely love. I love fluorescent colors, but you can't always get good quality paints in those, and so I don't use those as very rarely actually, even though I do like to use them. But letting you guys know about the story to do with this with the red rump parrots. This one actually has a lot of metallic paints in this one because I like the reflection of light, and I like playing with light and the reflections of colors like in rainbows, which really appeals to me. This one is about the Tree of Life series, containing the two red rump parrots and the sun and the Tree of Life. And the Tree of Life series is a new series of paintings which enables us to work towards a new leash on life. New ways of doing things which are pushing out all the old to the surface for us to let go of. This will ultimately provide us with the foundation to the new you, which offers you more stability, emotional contentment, happiness, and so much more. So keep watering your tree of life in order to keep growing to newfound heights, because sky is the limit. The red-rumped parrot, or better known as the grass parrot, prefers eating seeds, leaves of grasses. It will also feed on seeds, fruits and flowers and trees, and a bird that feeds alongside other parrots such as the eastern rosella and the galah. You could be struggling to move forward, and this struggle could mean that a deeper initiation needs to take place in order to shift certain beliefs or a negative pattern. Don't worry, you can create this shift on your own so that the change and shift happens at a pace that is in line with your balance and way of life. But remember to incorporate water also in this cleansing ceremony. Ways to improve and to create this shift could be taking flower essences, using essential oils, eating or drinking more fruits and vegetables, taking a salt bath or shower scrub, healing yourself through herbs, and the list goes on. The pattern, just use your own intuition and you'll know which way suits you the best as an individual. So the pattern from the past that you are releasing relates to a personal sacrifice that resulted in a dead end. Heal yourself again so that your personal power can regain itself by doing something to improve yourself today. Once your personal power is regained, you can continue to grow and help others to do so for the future. Where there is two birds that arrive, it tells us that there will be nurturing energy and balance, which helps with the establishment of relationships, communities, social groups, and the home. You are developing a new way of life for yourself, and it's such a beautiful thing. So that is one of the paintings that I featured on my social medias, in case you missed out on that. And the other one that people have been loving lately is the which contains the zebra finch. These secretly are actually my favorite little birdies, which contain the zebra finches and the owl finches, and it's called Guiding Your Way. Although I don't speak much about it, finches was the very first totem I received when I was a teenager from my dad, and even before I received the dingo totem from my auntie. It has taken me many years to master their dreaming, but it has been the most rewarding. This is why I love to paint them so much, and other birds. Guiding your way is about listening to guidance. Are you paying attention to that small voice within? You possess more strength than you can comprehend. Transformation does not arise from an inability to foresee the future, but having faith in the sensation of something superior than yourself. Trust in the power of your own optimistic thoughts and internal knowledge to lead you to the solution you seek. Introduce yourself to fresh vitality and opportunities for growth, as they possess a delightful ability to uplift your mood and enable you to experience happiness once again. These elements are closely connected to the rain and the soil, which these birds are closely connected to. This artwork features a male zebra finches, distinguished by their vibrant colours, orange cheeks and markings on their wings. The females, on the other hand, have a plain appearance and typically exhibit the one dominant feature. Also featuring double-barred finch, also known as owl finch, due to their ghost-like face appearances. In the springtime of our youth, we have the ability to boldly chase these new opportunities, which have the tendency to uplift our mood and bring in more happiness. We must remember to be like spring and bloom once again after a downpour or setback has dampened our spirit. That is what these little ones remind us about. And trust me, I experienced firsthand of these little ones. And so, yeah. Leaves promote healing properties of plants, an amazing ability to regenerate and bring growth in barren lands or where there has been nothing left. And so this one actually contains, you guessed it, metallic paints in this one. But this one I've used metallic acrylic inks. So yeah. As you can see in the background, and then there's this small little Australian wildflowers in this one as well. So go check those ones out online, and I'll also leave the link down the bottom in the description box. In the description box, where you can click on the link, read about the story, and they're such great little paintings for gifts for family and friends, which are here in Australia, as they're both native birds of Australia, or, you know, for gifts for friends and family overseas as well, because they're small enough to place in your suitcase. But I also, you know, had some people asking me about the card decks, and if you're lucky enough to get one of my special deals this week, then, you know, congratulations, because I don't always let everybody know about special deals. Sometimes I may give you personal messages and you get these special deals at half price. And so if you were lucky enough to grab one of those this week, then congratulations. So I'm just giving, for the people that have asked about wanting to know a little bit more how they can do their own readings. Well, if you don't have a lot of time during the week, then a weekly reading would be great for most people. And so just ask, what do I need to know about that's coming up for this week for myself? Please, as my divine inspiration from God. And this is what I normally do, because the divine inspiration comes through God, and, you know, or whoever that you believe in, but that's what I believe in. And so, you know, the divine inspiration comes through for the readings every week. And so I think that's also why a lot of people give me feedback about how positive and how, you know, accurate it's been for them and inspirational. So, you know, that is basically what I do. And then you shuffle the cards, or say it while shuffling the cards about, you know, God providing you the divine inspiration for what you need to know for the week, and draw out 1 or 2 cards, and then read the messages that follow. Place it in a room or area where you can look upon those cards often throughout your week, reminding you and guiding you about the messages that they are bringing you throughout your week, and reminding you to stay on track, be positive, and keep uplifting you throughout your week, uplifting your spirit throughout the week. Because that's everything that we could hope for, is having that divine inspiration that we can follow and keep us on track so we don't lose our way. And, you know, the week is going to be starting another brand new week, which starts on the 30th of June, which is the last day of the month, by the way. And then running until the 6th of July. And so I haven't drawn the cards ahead of time, so, you know, we're going to be doing this on the video now, so it's just going to be pretty neat, because we haven't done that in I haven't done that in a number of weeks. And so, yeah, as I said, I'm slowly getting my voice back from having the cold and flu. And so, you know, the good thing is I was able to you know, take action pretty quickly, and so then I wasn't, you know, bedridden for weeks and weeks on end, which, you know, I can't really be bedridden on weeks on end, otherwise I can't keep up with all you lot online. Anyway, so if you've got your card deck, then, you know, it comes in a box, and you've got your 100-page booklet, and then you've got your 36 glossy cards. And so, you know, for the first time last week, we drew out an extra card, the 3rd card, which was giving us a solution and giving us some more divine inspiration in order to understand, you know, what our challenges may be, just giving us some more insight into the divine inspiration behind how we can tackle any of the challenges that were coming up from the first 2 cards that we drew. And so, yeah, so I usually shuffle the cards, and I ask God for the divine inspiration that I'm needing for this week, and from the animals, And then I'll pull out the first card, and yeah, the first card we got is I am listening with Dale, letting us know when I take the time to listen carefully, the messages from deep within my soul give me the ultimate guidance. And so, you know, we got this card not so long ago as well. And so, you know, what is it that we're not listening to, you know, because it's, you know, come up to our attention again this week. And so it's about listening to the deep messages from within ourselves. And, you know, you already have what you need hidden deep within yourself. So don't allow anyone to ruin it for you. So try to stay centered and focused on you, not anyone else, and not what anyone else is saying, whether it's negative or whatever, you know, because we can have a lot of people that are trying to be negative towards ourselves, and it's important not to listen to anything that's negative, any kind of bullying, you know. And I have had a lot of experience from people doing this to me for many, many years, and so it's really important not to listen to anything that's negative that's coming from other people, and to focus on you. So just try to just focus more on you and what you're trying to achieve and the positivity that you're wanting to focus on. It's not about ignoring anything negative, but it's about just staying positive and on track with what you're trying to achieve and what you want to do and the success that you want to bring to, which is, you know, bringing out the happiness within you and fulfilling your life, because you are number one. So listen deeply to yourself and not to others. And the answers that you are seeking at this time of the year, also remember to be patient and wait for the answers to come, and don't be so harsh on yourself, because we can do that a lot of the time, especially if we're having people that are focusing negative thoughts on us as well, because everything that will come to you during this time will come at the right timing in the right moment. And so just try to be patient. You are truly honoring yourself when you allow this process to unfold within yourself and you take the time you need to listen carefully to yourself. So just imagine the possibilities if you can be patient with yourself and get into the flow that is natural rhythm of you. And so the guidance this week to do with the day owl is it's an important time to listen to your inner voice, trust and allow the hidden signs to come through, and move forward with your newfound knowledge with confidence. The action step this week is to take yourself outside in order to spend some more time in the sun, listening to the birds, the trees and the wind, and allow yourself to then take that focus deep within your heart and belly to give yourself an understanding of you and your soul purpose. And when we can release what we have to do, like, oh, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to do this, oh gosh, I'm not going to have time to do this, and how am I going to do that? If we release those things, you know, we can get back into our flow and rhythm. So, you know, it's not always easy to do, but just try to give yourself some time where you can go through the steps and get back into the flow. When we can release what we have to do, you allow yourself to be heard more in the present moment without any ignorance from yourself. And so, you know, it sounds like pretty new concept, but if you just go through the steps, then, you know, it can get easier and easier over time the more that we practice it. And so we could be feeling ignorant or stuck, or, you know, feeling like darkness is around. So the positive, we can always turn that around with the positive by releasing, seeing the truth for what it is, and, you know, not what we think that it might be, you know, dropping down into our heart, because that can help us to see the truth, and you know, dropping ourselves from our head to our heart. And it doesn't matter if you don't know your soul purpose now, just know that you're getting closer to it every day, and just be patient with yourself. And so that's the first card that we got this week with the day owl. So I'm going to be shuffling again and then asking for the divine inspiration to give us the other card. And guidance for the week, focusing with the animals that guide us all the time, like even every week, even on the socials, you know, giving us the messages that we're needing all the time. And so, and you know, staying on track, you know, it's taken me a long time to find my life purpose. Although I was very young when I found mine, it wasn't easy to follow. So, you know, if you still don't know yours, it's not something to be worried about, you know, just allow it to come in. Because even when you do find it from a young age, it doesn't mean that it makes it any easier. So, you know, it'll come at the right time for you. You know, it doesn't matter how old you are or how young. And so, yeah, just try to remember that it's fine. You'll find it in your time because you're unique in your individuality, and you know, not everyone's the same. And don't let anyone put you in the same category as everybody else, because everyone is in their own category and not in a cookie cutter category. So you're not going to fit the mold because you're your own mold. So, you know, if anyone's trying to make you do anything that you don't want to do, or trying to mold you into something that's, you know, is not you, then, you know, it's not something that's going to be serving you. So it's important to, you know, look for other options that will allow you to be you without any restrictions, and so that you can be you and, you know, learn about yourself more in the way that you want to in your own time. And so the other card that we pulled out is with the butterfly. I am connected. When I give myself time, I can easily understand that each phase in my life is a natural progression of life. And so we all go through different cycles and different ups and downs in our life. And so the butterfly is just letting us know to continue to be connected with ourselves through the reflection that nature is giving us. And so, you know, you could be going through a cycle of transformation during this time. And so it's like what the red-rumped parrots were giving us, what the red-rumped parrots' messages were giving us about pushing out the old by, you know, moving forward with the new. And so that's how we can change and make that transformation. You know, if we've been in situations that have hurt us and made us feel less important, or, you know, downtrodden, you know, it's sometimes hard to get out of situations where there's been really heavy feelings and thoughts that we've thought about ourselves, you know, unknowingly sometimes. Oh, you know, well, why didn't I do it this way? You know, why couldn't we do things better? And why didn't this work out? Like, that's not your fault, you know. The situation, you were learning and you did the best that you could. And it's from our experiences that we can grow and be better the next time round. And, you know, we get to be more experienced through the lessons that we learn from, you know, sometimes it's negative experiences a lot of the time, unfortunately, but it really shows us something. It helps us to value ourselves a lot more, and to say that we're not going to put up with, you know, people that are putting us down, or people that are not lifting us up, and or not connecting to us in the way that we hope. So, you know, the butterfly is closely linked to the death and rebirth cycle, and it is a beautiful free spirit creature that brings support to this kind of transformation within that you're about to take without attachment. Once it's left the chrysalis, it's free again to move about with ease. There is a lot we can learn and uncover in a lifetime, and especially about nature and ourselves. that instead of stopping and taking the time to heal and understand, we keep going in this fast-paced world. And so Butterfly reminds us about our cycles of transformation within our heart and soul. Learning, Butterfly dreaming represents the many cycles of life. Everything is in perfect balance and synchronicity when we recognize these ebbs and flows of life in the reflection of nature. And you know, it seems like it's so simple, but it's just so powerful and, you know, so transformational and inspirational for our lives when we can understand this on a deeper level. And so the purpose of butterfly dreaming reminds us that their life is very delicate balance of nature's cycles. Whether you are in an up or down cycle, be sure it will soon pass, and when it does, you will be far stronger from the experience. And so the action step is this week is to schedule in some quiet time, especially for yourself, so that you can get connected to nature and the natural rhythm of life that's within you. And so, and honor yourself by giving yourself the time to understand what kind of cycle you're in. This will enable you to gain more balance in the areas that you feel separated from. And so, you can go back over this video, because there's usually a lot of deep and meaningful things that we need to understand, and sometimes we need to listen to it a few times in order for it to sink in, or sometimes we might get it straight away and then we can go off and do the little action steps that we need in order to bring us closer to to our happiness. And so you may be feeling disharmony, separated, or confused at this time, and as a negative, but you can always turn that around by bringing yourself back into balance, using some steps that bring you closer to this balance and calm within yourself. And the positive is nature and being connected. So try also to get out in nature this week, because that will also bring you the balance that you're requiring. I know that it always gives me the balance that I need, especially when the sunshine is out, and helping me to recharge my spirit. And the birds, of course, I love hearing the birds and seeing the birds and interacting with the birds, and bird watching is actually one of my favorite things to do. And listening to the birds and the messages that they bring, and the messages that nature brings us as well through the animals. And so let's have a look at what the solution card is, and then we better end this video, because it's getting these videos seem to be getting longer and longer, but I've been trying to do them shorter, but just seems to be getting longer. The solution card that we pulled out this week is with the Kurawong, I am empowered. Letting us know, when I go beyond any painful experiences I've experienced from the past, I've become enlightened. This makes me happy and I'm empowered. And yeah, it's such an easy thing to say. It's such an easy thing to say, but to do and go beyond painful experiences of the past, it enables us to let go. And then it enables, when we let go, then we can invite the things in that we're wanting to get closer to, that are bringing in more happiness into our life, to replace, any emptiness inside when we do let go. So, it was like what I was saying, we can't actually push out. We can't push out the painful experiences unless we let them go and we let better things in. So, it's like we can't just expect that the negative is going to be pushed out if we don't take action in an intentional and focused action in pushing it out, because we can't push it out unless we're moving forward and allowing ourselves intentionally to push beyond those painful thoughts and experiences by creating new ones, because the new ones will take up the space of the old and push them right back where they belong. And so if we have a look at 35 in the guidebook, and we're going to end on this card now until I see you again next week. And the message of the Currawong is telling you, are you afraid to feel? The past could be trying to show you something, so don't be afraid. It may seem scary at the time, but this feeling is your indicator telling you that there is a part of yourself that is connected to the past, you know. So just try to listen and take some action in order to change it. That's all, you know. Feelings can be a little bit scary sometimes, but it's just, you know, just take some baby steps in order to work through one step at a time. So there is something from your past that is unresolved, that could be unresolved, which is trying to tell you an important message. The Currawong teaches us about lessons from the past. Has there been some reoccurring themes, mistakes or problems that have cropped up to show you something important that you may have not realized that you missed from before? Currawong will show you what that might be. The Currawong messenger bird doesn't muck about. It hops from one area to another, constantly on the move to find what it needs, and always, in most cases, forsaking themselves and others in their stride to get there. And so, does this sound like someone familiar to you in your life right now? This is not the way to overcome a situation, and will only result in the ghosts from the past to be even more felt and heard. The action step this week to do with Currawong, because we don't have time to go through all the information, so I'm going straight to the action step. Your soul is going to thrive by taking action to push yourself out of the situation which is making you feel afraid and fearful in moving forward, so that goals do not result in going do not result and they go side to side. So you're missing out on happiness because you're fearful in moving forward with your goals, which will result in just going side by side. And so, you know, it's not really worth continuing in an unhappy state by, you know, being afraid and fearful. And so, you know, allow yourself to be the light that pushes through any darkness or pain away during this time. And so then on the negative, you could be feeling afraid, fearful, life on repeat, feeling lost or lack of confidence. You can always turn that around at any moment by taking some action. And so if you take some action, you enable yourself to be empowered and enlightened. Take baby steps and, you know, and allow yourself to start over again. You know, it's like starting the race again. And, you know, trying again, you know, until we get it right, over and over. Doesn't matter how many times we have to do it. And this makes you courageous. And so, you know, the 3 cards that we pulled out were fantastic this week. I'm really excited about it. And I love these cards. You know, they're some of my favorite cards with the owl and the butterfly. So the owl is telling us to stay connected with nature this week, because it's reflecting back at us what we're needing to know. You know, it's helping us to make this transformation that we want, pushing out the old. And the other card we got was with Day Owl, I'm listening, helping us to just take the time to carefully listen to ourselves and any messages that are coming up this week. Just try to be slow and steady with yourself, you know, and keep making some progress. And, you know, the answers you seek will come. Maybe write in a journal this week some of the answers that you're seeking, so then you know that those answers will be coming to you very soon. And look back upon them, and, you know, and then that's how you can see your progress. And the other card we pulled out was with the Currawong, I Empowered, letting us know that when you go beyond painful experiences, this is your solution card. When you go through painful experiences, beyond, you know, you become enlightened. You know, this makes you happy again and empowered. And so try to remember, you know, happiness is our natural feeling, and, you know, why we come here, you know, is the ultimate feeling that we want to have for ourselves, to being fulfilled in life. And so I hope you have a wonderful week with these cards, and you can always come back to this video and and pause and write down anything or any steps that you need to help you through this phase of your life, through transformation from the old to the new. I hope you have a wonderful week with these cards, and and I'll see you again next week. And if you're missing the messages and you want more messages, then follow me on social media on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or LinkedIn, and you can get your daily dose of messages every single day. And so I'll see you again next week, but go onto the website and grab yourself a card deck for yourself, or one of these unique paintings that will also help you to keep focused on what you're trying to achieve for yourself, and what you're trying to develop, the qualities that you're trying to develop for yourself. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you again next week. Bye for now. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Bye.